Well, guys, this is a discussion with Mr. Paul Nusa Ogiho in the UK. Here we're just discussing every bits and bits of every topic today, from MOA to securities, and now we will be talking about the political parties in Nigeria, PDP versus APC, as there is a dynamics playing out in the federal level in the recent convention held by the PDP. So we are going to discuss that now. Mr. Gill, recently there was this ton of event for Nelson White, the former governor of Wike, so I will use Wike, the former governor of Rivers State. He was suspended after years of anti-parties activities. So, what do you think? Where do you think this place PDP? Because the House is severely divided. What power do you think they can garner before the next election to challenge the APC government?
I think most Nigerians actually know what is going on in Nigeria. So what is actually going on is that the current government, they are trying as much as they can to destroy all the other political parties in Nigeria. Any other political parties in Nigeria that has relevance at all, has following, they are trying as much as possible to destroy those parties. So what are they doing? They are planting their people in each of those parties to raise,
to create confusion,
to create problems, so that, because the electoral law says if there are more than one faction of a political party, then a state of dispute will be declared. So which means INEC will come in, others will come in, So what we now see is that this current government, so you see a situation where people now also openly talk about state capture, right? Where the instrument of state, most of the agencies that should be independent for every Nigerian, for everyone in the country, that these people now have been, these agencies have been captured. They actually now are part of the APC. They now work for the APC. INEC is an example. Yeah, you saw how I do election. You know my views about that last Edo governorship election. You saw what happened in several other areas, right? So what I'm trying to say is that this is not just a PDP or Wike problem. This is a political blueprint that has been designed by this current government with President Tinubu as the head to try to destroy all other parties. It's all about 2027. And it's unfortunate that 2027, which is still about 2.5 years away, is really taking that so much of their time and their attention instead of governance, instead of focus to try to bring about programs, policies to help the development of the country. So the focus is just on the next election, right? So that's one issue that we're having. But I think that majority of Nigerians know exactly what is going on.
Okay.
So how that will play out in 2027, because we see a realignment now. We see a new party, for example, ADC, that has just been registered. We see quite a lot of people jumping in from PDP and some other party into ATC. So we don't know how that way, how that eventually will play out at the end of the day. But if President Tinubu is not delivering to Nigerians, no matter what they do, no matter the problems or confusion they create in other party, he is not going to have it easy in 2020. I can assure you.
Do you think Tinubu is delivering?
Well, in some areas, yes, but in certain areas, not. Where I will talk about some of the things that he has done that I personally, as a person, can applaud him for.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, he was very choking up to the last end of Buhari's regime. We had this discussion last time, you and I. So the Nigerian debt servicing to revenue ratio was somewhere around 97%. That's now under 50%. So, which means the government has a little bit of some breathing space.
They have control over it.
In terms of the finances. So they are actually now able to have a bit more money for development and for other programs as well. So what I would also say is that we have also seen a major boost in non-oil revenue.
Okay.
Right? As at September, August this year, up to the tune of about 20 trillion naira. That's quite a lot of money, right? That the government is able to raise through non-oil sources. And we have seen a jump in revenue with about 411% as at September 2025 compared to March 2023.
Well, how are they able to generate this revenue? What's changed?
Well, quite a lot of things, tax reforms, the removal of oil subsidy, generating quite a lot of money for the government, the consolidation of the Naira exchange rate into one regime instead of having multiple different exchange rate regime. And so you also see with that is that you have a little bit of stability now around the dollar. And as I have always said, it's not about the unit of exchange. It's not about whether it is 2,000 naira to $1 or 5,000 naira to $1 or 20 naira to $1. What is important is the stability, the level of volatility, right? So if the dollar, as we have seen now for nearly almost 18 months, stays its course, stay within the boundary of where it is, where it has been for all that period of time, then it means that managers can plan, they can have a much longer plan, they can predict what is going on, they are then able to allocate their budget and able to create more opportunities in the economy, able to buy more and able to create more demand in the entire ecosystem. So that's a relief to the government, to see that record-breaking oil revenue reaching 20 trillion as at August 2025. So it's I think that's something that we should applaud them for. But you are able to generate revenue. It's not the end of the story. What about the other side of the story? What is that money now being used for? Right. So with that money, is it generating enough to really help cushion the pains and the effect that that the whole removal of subsidy has on the people? I have my doubt if that is the case, because you still have a situation where inflation is really at cutthroat. Inflation as at today is about 32.3%, 32.1 or 32.3%.
That's extremely high.
That's extremely high. So cost of living. So what is Nigerian minimum wage? Is it a living wage or livable wage?
Still less than
it is not. So, and on average, the Nigerian living wage is about $23 per month. So what is that going to put on the table for the family? You people, you don't really see. Government now have more money. That is true. They can actually now run more projects. You see, for example, the construction of the Outer Santa Expressway in Abuja, which the federal government just completed. That's a huge infrastructure improvement. But how do you also now question the effect of the removal of subsidy on the people? Look at the cost of living. How much does a bag of rice cost now? How much does a bag of garri cost? So for the ordinary person on the street, that problem is still there. And you also have to understand the fact that widespread poverty, more Nigerians have fallen into poverty since the inception of this administration.
But don't you think it is also time that Nigerians are educated on the family planning? Because I understand that in Nigeria, the major problem is that family don't really plan. They can have 5 children with $23 of minimum wage, with no future plan to cushion or even try to transition their hardship through this process. They don't have that plan at all. They just have to, they believe God gives children, God will give resources to take care of these kids.
Of course, God will provide.
Yeah, but isn't this, because when you live in a society where you don't have government assistance, the cost of living is at a bottleneck, there is nothing to do to you. You have to plan. If you wanted to have 5, at least start with 2 to see how it goes. So why are Nigerians families not doing this?
Why do they have to do it? What is the incentive for them to not have as much as the number of children?
I don't think it's incentives. I think that when you see the situation where you are, if you plan for 5 kids before, you now realize that this is not achievable based on the resources you have, you can find a way to restructure, right?
I don't know whether Nigerians are actually able to see or feel that population growth in principle is not much of a big deal problem, right? What is a problem is that if the economy is not keeping pace with the population growth, so if population is growing at 2%, GDP should be growing at 3 or 4%, right? So if the economy is growing faster than the population rate, then that is not a problem. So on the personal level, I understand exactly what you are saying. So we don't have a functioning system, right? Here in the UK, for example, it is almost impossible for any person or family to decide and say, we want to have as many as 10 children or 20 children. It's not possible in the first place. Who is going to do the school runs? Who's going to take the children to school? So everything is planned and set in such a way that if you have more than 3 children, you will suffer.
Yes.
You will bend under the system. Why? Because you will not be able to keep pace with, providing for them, getting a place for them to have a decent life, and being able to meet with their needs. But in Nigeria, people don't care. When they have children, the children eventually will go and look after themselves.
Exactly. Now that is the lack of responsibility.
Yes, so that's
contributing to this problem.
That's a lack of responsibility, but because it's also not really, for most of them, not affecting them directly.
But it is affecting them with children going to hawk on the street. Some children who are just children of 10 to 12 years old, daughters, girls, hawking themselves, trying to get penny. They already start taking care of themselves from a very tender age, where they are supposed to be children.
Whose fault is that?
Parents.
No, not only parents, but also government's responsibilities as well. Is government providing education? Is government providing a pathway for those children to have a fulfilled life? They are not.
Yeah, but in the UK here, some people have 2-3 jobs because they have mouths to feed.
Yes.
Right? So parents in Nigeria, they keep to one job. Again, they can have 2 jobs. Even the money from the 2 jobs might not even be enough to take care of the 5 kids, because again, things are very expensive. But you should also know what your children are up to. Try to protect them. Not when you see your child now putting things on the head to sell on the street, young girls who are not even up to age. You see, because a lot of pervs are in Nigeria there. Some of them are even wanting their daughters to marry of 14, 15 years old, can leave home 3 days not coming. Nowadays, I'm saying, not coming back home. You just say they are thinking at least -1 month for me to feed. You brought them here. You know this austerity. These children are now struggling to take care of themselves. You know that the government is not coming before you make all these plans. So while we are blaming the government, I agree, but we should be pointing fingers at these parents too, who over the years know the struggle they went through to become who they are today, and they are taking their own children through the same process.
Let me just quickly throw this one out there, that the population growth is a net asset to development, right? It's not a negative, it's not usually necessarily always a negative thing. So you also have people in this society that have 8 children or more, or adopted children. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have a system, The system is able to account for everybody. The system is able to know where each child is at any given point in time. If my child is not at school today, I will be getting phone calls, I will be getting text messages of instances, not just only their school, but also other instances where they will want to find out what is going on, what has happened, why the child not in school. So we don't have that level of sophistication of maturity of our systems. We don't even have any of those systems, right?
We don't have anything in place at all.
Right. So if we have good systems like that, where as a dad, you will be called upon 2 times or 3 times within a week because of a particular issue with your children. No one is going to tell you that you will not be able to manage if you have too many children, right? No one is going to tell you that, oh, it will become an issue with you, because why? The system holds you responsible.
They are the parents, yes.
The system holds the parents responsible. Yes, so some parents go to prison in this country because of what they call child neglect.
That is what should be happening in Nigeria.
Yes.
So parents should sit up.
Yes.
I just feel that the vulnerable children out there are being haunted by white criminals. Even sometimes
Nigeria have about 14 million out of school children. That's
teachers,
not something to be proud about.
Teachers are the perpetrators.
Yes.
Impregnating their students who are just in the secondary school.
Yeah.
So these are areas that parents should be sitting up. Government should be protecting their children. Yeah. And the parents should be planning. Again, I still believe there is a need for proper planning. Yeah. I know that if I'm in the UK here, I know I can have 2 free children if I wanted to. Yeah. I'll be able to get the resources to take care of them.
Yes.
I have 1.
Yeah.
Right. And in Nigeria, 1 person will have 7 children.
Yes, or more.
Yeah. And 1 man will be having 3 wives. Yeah. And then you go to where they live, it's like a shadow. Yeah. And then they don't care how to take care of them. They just give birth.
It's the lack of
responsibility. The
lack of responsibility on the part of the parents, but in the bigger picture is the lack of proper planning of the societal structure. So you can't have a child and not give the child the small little opportunity to survive. Right? You can't have a system where you have a child and the child is thrown into the world. In this part of the world, the government will hold you up responsible or accountable. Right?
Exactly.
They will hold you accountable or responsible. So what I still want to see, if we want to go to a place like Edo State, for example, where the former Commissioner for Education came up with so many different type of robust programs, right? Programs to not only look after every child, but also look into the child's development and look at, for example, which child is a special child that may also need some special kind of development. So do we still have any of those type of programs today? I very much doubt if they are there.
Yeah, I'm sure they're there.
She started very well, but you have to be able to have continuity in this type of thing. So, and as I said, the education of a child must be a total thing. So you must not provide this little bit and say, oh, we are providing this, but these other bits are completely non-existent or neglected. So if a child is not at school, whose responsibility it is to find out what is going on? So
parents should know their children are at school. School should be aware that
if a child is on the street hawking at a time when he or she should be at school, why don't we have a system to hold the parent of that child responsible?
My question.
Right. So the education of a child is not just about bringing a child to the classroom alone, but it is also about managing all the other peripherals that has to do with the education and development of the child.
Yeah, that's that includes the aspect of 17, 16 years old boy coming home to say, I just bought a car for my mom, and he's never been employed once in his life.
Mom will be celebrating.
The mom will be celebrating. Yeah. Now this is the lack of responsibility.
Yes. Or someone is appointed as a commissioner and then he will go to the church and do Thanksgiving, and he will call a party and be celebrating. So you've been asked to come and serve.
Yes.
But you are celebrating. Why? What are you celebrating?
Because the post just got bigger. These are the problem with Nigeria. The things needs to change.
Yeah, but those things are all driven by economics, right? So, and as I have always said, if you look at our immediate past history, there has been only 7 economies, 6 countries, because Hong Kong and China are now almost integrated into one country. 7 economies that have made that transition from a low income economy to a higher income economy. And according to the World Bank, the only way you can make that transition possible is for you to have a GDP economic growth continuously without interruption for a period of about 40 to 50 years with minimum of about 4.5% GDP growth year on year.
That is not achievable at this
point.
So
all the countries that have made, those 7 economies that have made that transition, that's exactly what they did. And if you look at, they have a group of another 14 economies that are coming more. Some that have been in that, some that have been in that trajectory for longer than about 20 years or thereabout. Ethiopia is one of them, for example. So you have to expand your economy. You have to develop your economy. You have to grow your GDP. And while you are doing that, also make sure that it's an inclusive growth. When you do that for a prolonged period of time, all of these problems that we are seeing, the social issues here, educational issues here, health issues here, they will all be on the way. Even security challenges.
Okay, yeah,
they will all be on the way.
Itself.
So at the end of the day, it still comes down to, do we have a government that is focused enough for that type of level of development?
Okay. I think
for me, it's all about politics. It's all about the next election. So who is going to win the next election? And now, even low level corruption has now just become even part of governance in Nigeria.
It is.
So in the past, it used to be done in behind closed doors, but now it's just open, brazen impunity.
Exactly, because there have been no accountabilities. There's been no consequences.
No consequences.
And so that is what happened.
No consequences. When the person at the head, look at what the person at the head is doing. One, trying to capture, state functions, trying to, make the country a one-party system, and also supporting things that are undemocratic and helping his own party to rig elections in local elections, do governorship election and things like that. So you can't have a situation like that or they be able to create the environment where you can mobilize the people behind your vision to support you and grow the country constructively. You can't. It is not possible.
I agree.
So that example has to start from the top. You have to be above board. And for goodness sake, why is President Tinubu not above politics? Why is politics his main preoccupation?
But that's his business. It's a business.
It's killing the country.
It is a business.
Yes.
It's not just him. It's everyone before him. They've had the same disease. I'll say.
But I don't know of any other president, whether in this dispensation or in previous other civilian dispensation, that has constructively and knowingly tried to destroy the democratic principles of the country. I don't know of any other president that have done that. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know of any other president that I know.
He's a strategist.
So what strategy? Strategy to what aim? To what goal?
To become opposed.
You become unopposed, or you win as the president, and you are possibly then able to transfer power to your family or to someone you want, a hand-picked person. And so what? Does that move the country forward?
Do they care about the moving country?
They don't care.
I think you are missing. These people don't care about moving the country forward. I think they just when they are there, it's their retirement home. They want to better their family and their family, even the ones that are not born yet.
Yes.
They are the expense of everyone else. There's no discussion about how to make the country better for everybody. Who's going to be carrying their handbags and putting umbrella over their head when it's raining if everybody can take care of themselves?
Yeah, but what are the consequences? The consequences today, the number one issue we have been talking about, security issues.
Exactly. So
that security issues now is not just affecting you and I, it's affecting everyone. They themselves don't also have that easy movement or easy access that they used to have. They now hide behind bulletproof cars and bulletproof.
They lock themselves away
and lock themselves away like they are in prison.
Yes, they call themselves. When you think they are in prison, they think they have arrived because they cannot walk now. They walk on the street with gunmen looking around. They feel very protected. They are bulletproof vehicles. They feel untouchable. You see in Sri Lanka, government officials did that for many years until Sri Lankan people could no longer handle it.
Yes.
They run the president out of the country.
Yes.
I mean, they went into the presidential villa in Sri Lanka in Colombo. They jumped into the pool. Police were everywhere. Soldier was everywhere, but the people were just too much. They overpower everybody. The president jumped on a helicopter and ran out of the country. Till now, never returned.
We are getting very close to that situation because for every drivers of that type of popular people's revolution, or whatever it is that you call it, the most potent weapon, and which is usually always the last, is hunger.
Yeah, but Nigerians, I don't think they have that unity.
It's hunger. So people are hungry now.
I don't think Nigeria has that unity to come together and want to run out government officials out of the country. The country is just too divided. The north, the south, the east, and the west. Everyone is too divided. I was in Italy a few weeks ago. I met one man who I said, "Hey, how are you? You're from Igbo land." They said, "No, I'm Biafra." Even in the east, there is a division within themselves. In the north, there are divisions. In the south, across these four regions, there are divisions. If the south is protesting, the north will not participate because they have a number of people benefiting from it. You see, and so we will never have that unity.
Yeah, the patronage system.
Exactly. So it's difficult.
Yeah, at the end of it, people are also looking at, they want to remove him because he's my tribe.
Yes.
Or they want to remove him because it's my party.
Yeah, tribal policy.
Or you also have people who are benefiting directly from the government. They don't want patronage to stop.
Agreed. And my brother wouldn't want to protest against me if I put him in power.
Yeah.
If I become the commissioner, I say you're my personal aide. Exactly. So this is how it is. Nepotism over here in the UK is a big thing.
Yes.
It is not a thing in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So this is the beginning of corruption.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm a minister here in Nigeria, I can just elect my mother, my father, everybody to work in my office. Nobody is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you cannot do it here. So beginning of corruption, that is where it all starts from. Yeah. So there are a lot of problems in Nigeria. Let me. I wanted to quickly bring it down to the recent threat by the President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump, who has threatened to go after the Muslims in the north for attacking or killing Christians living in the northern part of Nigeria. So what is your take? Do you think that Donald Trump is going to drop a bomb in the northern part of Nigeria because the government have refused to protect Christians? Because he also mentioned that they have failed to obey the rules of President Muslim, Vice President Christian, that the practice that have been in existence for years, that the current government refuse to obey it, which means they are trying to fully control the Christians. So what is your take on it?
Well, despite the security challenges that Nigeria has, most people, including myself, don't see those type of issues that way, that a foreign government has the right. I think it's against international law to interfere in the internal affairs of a country. So I have seen the tweets from President Trump, and I think that they are very valid concerns that he has raised about people being killed in some part of the country, and now there's religious dimension to it, that Christians are being killed, but I think also Muslims are also being killed as well. So yeah, but who is actually perpetuating this as they are mostly Islamic fundamentalists?
That is his angle.
Or terrorists or whatever.
That is his angle.
So the question now is, who has the capacity to wipe out terrorism from another country? I mean, America as a country have tried it in so many places. Were they able to stop it in Iraq? They've been in Iraq now for how many years? Were they able to stop it in other countries like Yemen or in Somalia or in Afghanistan? The same Taliban that they chased out of power in Afghanistan, are they not back to power in Afghanistan? Don't we all know what is going on in those countries? Women being, oppressed and not allowed to even go to school, not allowed to even benefit from their educational system or things like that. So I have my doubt whether any one superpower country can just wake up, go to another country and say, oh, we want to come and wipe out terrorism in your country. I don't think that is feasible, and I cannot see any example of it in history where it was successfully done. Nowhere.
Yeah, but having this now on the international.
Yeah, but I think it's actually producing quite a lot of result actually.
Good.
So you can see now that the government are scrambling now, trying to appear to
be dealing with it
or to be on top of it. You now see the movement of security personnel. So yeah, I understand the threat, and I understand that it has legitimate concerns. People being killed. Nobody wants to see human beings being killed anywhere in the world. But I think I don't see how that is feasible or possible for another country to say, oh, we're going to go into your country and we will come and wipe out terrorists in that country. So even if they eventually decide that that is what they are going to do and come into Nigeria to try to see whether they can help Nigerians wipe out the terrorists, the possibility of that succeeding is I don't see it, because they have not been able to do it anywhere else in the world.
Okay.
Yeah, but the elevated threat and the elevated activities in terms of the security positioning and things like that, that's a welcome development.
It made them sit up.
They are trying to sit up. I don't know. That's the impression that we are getting in the public space, but whether they are actually doing that much, we don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking time to speak with me today. Yes, I'll be speaking with Mr. Paul Musa Ogeho here in the United Kingdom. We'll be talking just about everything, and security to politics to the economy and all. So, and we will be coming to an end for this program, and I hope it's been very, very insightful. We hope by next episode we will be able to have another person to discuss this matter with. Mr. Paul Musa Ogeho lives here in the United Kingdom, and I'm going to post his Facebook handle right on the screen for you to follow him if you have any questions or continuation of this discussion. If you want, if you have your own say or what you think, if you disagree with some of his points, please send him a private message. He'll be very available to discuss this further with you. And I want to thank you today for all your time, and I hope to see you in the next episodes. Mr. Nosa Ogeho, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Once again.
Well, and enjoy the rest of the week, everybody. Take care. Bye.